all native assets and ERC tokens out there all have something in common. They're trying to solve, improve, or to offer something that is better than its main protocol. With a smart contract, many of them are trying to improve the transaction per seconds or to lower the transaction fees. And this brings value back to its main protocol, whether it is Ethereum or Cardano, for example. But if we look at IOTA 2.0 and the trilemma, what is it really to improve? And how could that bring value back to IOTA? Well, from my perspective, IOTA 2.0 is already superior as it is, right? So there's nothing really to improve. But what happens if we take a step outside the box here for a second and we start listening to this question? What do you think would happen if the crypto world found out that IOTA, as the only cryptocurrency out there, has a native token that is putting both money and effort into not trying to improve or offer something that is better, but to do the exact opposite? What if there was MoonMorons? A bunch of conservative maniacs that still believes in dirty blockchain technology. They like cheeky fees and pending transactions. Why? Because they want you to get that cheeky OG shitcoin experience. And with a lot of pending transactions, they are confident that they can achieve that. They also think that climate change isn't real. But of course, I also have to say that we have to be very careful and make sure that people understand the satire about this before saying something stupid like climate change isn't real. Because I mean that's a powerful statement, and that's a powerful stupid statement, and you have to remember and you have to understand that NFTs are bringing woke people into the crypto world, right? And so we don't want to get fucking canceled here before we even got started. Yeah, so we really need to think about this before we tweet or have this statement for sure. But why would those MoonMorons be interested in launching a token under IOTA? Because they know that blockchain will soon be dead tech, and the only way to prevent that is to bring it to the multiverse and save the last piece of bad blockchain experience on the Tangle. By adding cheeky fees and simulating pending transactions, they will develop what we call the world's first unsmart contract. So thanks to MoonMorons and IOTA's Tangle, future generations will always be able to experience blockchain themselves, to remember how shitty that technology was. So what's an unsmart contract? Well, our idea is that when you execute or when you do a transaction, you get 4 options. And the 4 options is the first option is that you pay $1 and the transaction will be pending for 30 minutes. And the second option is that you pay $2, your transaction will be pending for 10 minutes. And the third options, you pay $3 and the transaction will be as instant as possible. And the 4 options will be free, but your transaction will be pending for between 24 and 72 hours in order to get that cheeky OG shitcoin experience. And what we mean with that is that we want you to start thinking, like, we want you to get this feeling, you know, when you start thinking like, you know, did I do something wrong? Or, you know, like, did I paste the wrong ad? Why is my transaction still pending? You know that cheeky feeling. You know, that's what we want, right? But then I had a really good conversation with my friend Gianfranco, and he said that why don't you call this $1 option with a pending transaction for 30 minutes? Why don't you call that Bitcoin speed? And the second option with you'd pay $2 for a pending transaction for 10 minutes. Why don't you call that Ethereum speed? And this third option that will be as instant as possible for $3. Why don't you call that IOTA speed? And then I said, yeah, and this 4 option that will be free with a pending transaction for between 24 and 72 hours. So let's call that MoonMoron speed. And then say, yeah, that fits into the story. And you know, he was right about saying this, because I mean, if we call a $1 transaction Bitcoin speed, then suddenly, you know, that's cheap. You know, $1 for Bitcoin speed for a Bitcoin transaction, that's cheap. And the second option, like you pay $2 for an Ethereum speed that will be pending for 10 minutes. You know, that's fucking cheap as well. You know, and the third option, you pay $3 for IOTA speed. You know, that's fucking expensive, but you know, stop whining and use the IOTA network instead. I mean, that will be our approach. Yeah. So, and what will happen with the collected fees? Because this will be a layer 1 token, and there will be no transaction fees when sending money on layer 1, right? So why don't do something good about it? So, and our proposal is that 70% of the collected fees will go straight back to the IOTA Foundation. 20%, you know, buyback and burn tokens. 9% MoonMorons treasury, and 1% to charity. And yeah, I don't know if you noticed this yet, but this project isn't really just about, you know, satire about blockchain. You know, this is also, or what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to touch I'm trying to touch some of the errors about our modern Western culture here. I mean, for example, especially when we're talking about young people, like when someone is giving a sandwich to a homeless man, for example, that person can't just give it to him, you know, or her. You know, that person also have to take a selfie of the event to show the world and post it on Instagram, and to show the world how good he or she is. You know, it's all about signaling goodness, and I mean that's fucking disgusting, right? And but what the MoonMorons are doing, they're doing the exact opposite. Maybe not by signaling evilness, but signaling moronness or idiotism for sure. So our approach will be that this is just a meaningless shitcoin, but secretly we will start to add utilities to the token. And when people start to dig into it, they will realize, oh shit, this token got this and that utility, and oh, what the fuck. 70% of the collected fees go straight back to the IOTA Foundation, the greenest DLT in the whole crypto world. What the fuck? And 1% goes to this, some autism research, and to some company that is, quote, cleaning up the carbon in the atmosphere caused by blockchain mining, end quote. What the fuck? Maybe this isn't a shitcoin after all. And I know that there are many project leaders, many IOTA project leaders that are listening to this right now, and what I want you to ask yourself is that what can I, or what utility could my project bring to the MoonMorons token, and to the newbies that are listening to this, I also want to say that with IOTA you can transfer value all around the globe, everywhere, without paying any transaction fees, and without even having a bank account. And this is important shit. You know, this is revolutionary. But if you're privileged enough, use the MoonMorons network instead. Pay a cheeky fee and contribute with money for IOTA, the true DLT that is fighting for a free world. Thank you.